Guys are obsessed with first lines. What do you say when you first meet her? What's the opening line? What's the pickup line? What's the opening line to use when you're on Tinder or Hinge? What's the first line? What's the best thing to get a response or to get her attention? Well, in this video, I'm going to be explaining why none of that matters at all and what to do instead. Now, if you're having trouble with meeting women online or you've just given up altogether because you're not getting any results, I really urge you to rethink this. Something that the coaches here at TripAdvice do is help you build a complete customized profile from scratch. So if you're not getting any dates or you're not getting dates with the women that you really like, I want you to go to coachedbytrip.com because you can work with a coach right away to help you set up a custom profile. We tell you exactly what pictures to use, exactly what types of pictures to take. We tell you exactly what to put in your profile and bio, and we give you a script in terms of what to say to women online to get them to respond and then get to the point where you're getting them on a date and actually have her texting you. All of this is taught through the coaching program. Go to coachedbytrip.com if you're interested in learning more. Now, let's talk about that opening line. A lot of guys think that opening line matters. And I know I even said a second ago that I have a script, but let me tell you something. When it comes to opening lines, here's my proof of why it doesn't matter. It's because when you are messaging a woman, and let's say you have the best response in the world. In fact, I've had my clients have these really amazing lines, the ones that they found on YouTube channels and blogs and Google and wherever. And they copy and paste these opening lines. They're witty, they're funny, whatever they are, and they get a response. And most of the time, it doesn't lead to a date. So you might think, why is that? How come I'm able to get her to respond? And she responds to my witty, funny opening line that I've created or copied, but she won't go on a date with me. I don't get it. Well, that's because the opening line doesn't matter. So what matters then? The only thing that matters is this. It's your pictures. Your pictures are the ultimate. If your pictures aren't good, it doesn't matter what line you use, even if it's as lame as hey and all the way to, I don't know, insert funny, witty line here. Your pictures are going to be everything. If you have crappy pictures, you may be able to send a funny and witty line and get her to respond, but it won't lead to a date. Now, you might think that sometimes it does because maybe you do send that witty line, you get her to respond, and then she ends up on a date with you. So you put all that focus on that line and you put that line, that opening beautiful line on a pedestal, when in reality, it wasn't the line that got her on a date with you. It was your pictures and also a little bit your bio too, of course. If you don't have a bio, then it's not going to be very trustworthy, right? So like if we go to the whole end of the spectrum where you have no bio at all but really good pictures, it's going to be a little shady and that's not going to help. So you do have to have something in your bio that just generally says something about you, maybe something funny or witty or something that you like and that you enjoy, something that you do for work, whatever it may be. So if you have the general lines there, but you have really good pictures, and what's a really good picture? Really good picture is a crisp HD picture, right? High definition. If you have a high definition photo, something that's taken on like a DSLR or maybe even like an iPhone using the portrait mode, for example, if you have those kinds of photos, it's going to make you look your best. Now you may say, well, Trip, I'm not that attractive of a guy. So if I have an HD photo, something that shows me clearly, isn't it going to show me just being more ugly and more gross? No, first of all, it's going to actually put you in a better light because photos can make someone look better or look worse. There are photos in different angles and different ways of lighting yourself that are going to make you look more attractive. So those have to be there. But even with all that, if it's not an HD photo and it's kind of blurry or just looks like you took it from like a iPhone 5 or something really old, it's just going to look worse. Even if you're a guy who's super attractive, but you take like a selfie of yourself, or you take some low-res photo, it's not going to help you. So you need to have the combination of good lighting, good angles, photos that are high definition, and then you can start working on your opening lines. Now, no, I don't think you should be doing something as generic as hey, or how are you, or how's your day going. That opening line is pretty lame. Okay, so the line matters, but only just a little bit. But again, you don't have to go to the other spectrum. So one line that I like to use, you can just copy this right now, is, hey, do you have any travel plans coming up or any travel plans lately? If you say that, that's a pretty normal line. It's very easy for her to answer. And then that will lead itself to a little bit of conversation, and then you can get her to then text you, or you text her and then get her to meet up on a date. But again, we gotta kind of have that boundary. Now, if you want to go to a crazy line, you can, but it's really just not gonna matter as much unless you have those good photos. So something that just gets her to respond, that's easy for her to respond, is gonna be the best type of message that you can send along with your great photos. If you want to know, again, what kind of great photos to have and what exactly to put in your bio, I actually have a template for that. You can look into coaching with us. I wish I could put it all in this video right here, but there's just so much to be discussed, and also it's custom depending on who you are, right? So it all depends. Like, I like to say this. Some guys, for example, look better when they smile with teeth versus no smile at all. Some guys look better when they don't smile with teeth. Like, every guy has kind of a different thing going for them. That's why I say, if you ever go and get your photos taken, you should make sure that you do all different kinds of angles and different kinds of smiles to see what looks best on you. One thing that we do in the coaching program is pick out the photos that will look the best. But for yourself, if you're going and getting photos, make sure that you are doing all different types of angles and different kinds of positions, different kinds of smiles, so you can get all different options to make sure that you look your best. And yes, that's right, I did say you should be going to a photographer. One of my biggest tips to have the best photos, to make sure that whatever line you use, she's going to respond to you, is going to someone who's going to take photos of you, a professional photographer. And right now there's so many out there that do photography for online dating. And even if they don't, you're in a city where you can't find that person, just hire a wedding photographer. Those people are everywhere, and they will know how to take great portraits of you. Here's another tip. Make sure that you're doing it outside. Outside always has the best lighting. So my point here is that don't focus so much on that opening line. Focus on your pictures and what you look like. I know that seems weird, like, Trip, I've been following you for a while. You always say that it's not about looks as much as it is about behavior. Now, here's the thing. Yes, I do talk about that a lot, because there's a lot to be discussed when it comes to behavior. There's not really as much to talk about when it comes to grooming or style or things like that. There's a lot to talk about behavior, so I talk about that a lot more. But the thing is it all matters. Yeah, that's right, it all matters. Like, yes, your grooming is important, your style is important, what you look like is important, your status is important, whether you live with your parents or not, and you're like 30 years old living in your parents' basement, is important. If you're making no money, that is important. If you're not confident, that is important. If you're not showing her attractive masculine behavior and being dominant, that is important. So it all counts. The only thing is you can only go so far with your looks, right? There's only so many things you could do. So you do those things, and then you can focus more on then the behavior, because the behavior takes a lot longer to be a confident, dominant, masculine type of guy that I do talk about here, and as well as in the coaching program. So again, to sum this all up nicely, don't focus on that first line. Focus more of your effort on the pictures, and then you'll see more matches.